Hi, welcome to I Feel Guilty.
Ooh, this is a look though.
What?
You make my heart so happy. Look at this. Girl, what is you doing?
Someone said that I should read mean tweets about my dogs.
Well, hello there, new BFF. I think it looks natural.
As you can see, I've sat my dogs across the counter from me.
Oh, see, that's a good hood for you because your head can still be out, huh? Marble, are you okay? Marble, blink once if you can hear me.
Hey folks, what's good? I'm Professor Dietz, and today we're going to be discussing cancel culture. And also, kicking off a new series. Now here on this channel, we talk a whole lot about someone who has done awful things.
Who's Anne Berlin?
And continues to do awful things. Has never taken any real accountability, and honestly, probably never will. In fact, it's my opinion that Amber will never truly even just be able to see herself for who she actually is as a person. And she's only going to continue to play the victim of literally everyone and everything for the rest of her life. The thing is, as she sits on her couch telling her lies, Amber is constantly claiming that her viewers, they don't allow her the room to grow and change for the better. But in reality, she's had every opportunity to do just that. She's had over a decade on YouTube to learn from her past actions and admit that she was wrong. Make positive change in her life. And she hasn't. In fact, she really just gets worse. She's certainly a fascinating person to study, and unless something big happens, I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, so don't worry. But that being said, I also think there are other conversations to be had about other toxic behaviors and personalities. There are so many examples of problematic people with platforms. The YouTube apology video, it's practically become a genre all its own. And somehow, almost every single time, the person making a big show of their false apologies manages to come back to their platform and continue making money from their large audiences. It is infuriating. So, I sit here and I talk to you about the importance of being able to spot some of these toxic and controlling behaviors, in our own lives. It took me, personally, a very long time to be able to recognize these patterns of behavior. So my hope is that, I can at least start the conversation with you and at best, maybe, help one or two people out of a bad situation. I also want to remind myself and you that there can be a gray area. It's not always all or nothing. Sometimes, yes, it has to be, right? In order to protect ourselves from mental and physical harm from truly toxic people. But every now and then, there is going to be someone who can actually learn from their past. They can take accountability and make change for the better. And being able to spot those people can be just as important as spotting people like Amber. We don't need to spend our lives cutting off all contact with every person who makes a very bad decision or acts in a way that makes you uncomfortable, hurt, or less than. Humans, after all, are not perfect. Some do make worse decisions than others, and some of those people are in the public eye when that happens. It's worth questioning what they do after the fact, right? Do they recognize how wrong they were? Do they feel authentic remorse for their actions? Do they actively work on themselves to make sure that they don't make the same choices again? Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that any action should be forgiven just because a person seems sorry. No. But I also think that every now and then, cancel culture can be taken too far.
Cancel culture.
And that is exactly what I want to discuss in a new case study. There is one highly polarizing YouTuber that ultimately ended up canceling herself. Much to the dismay of many. And yes, you know that I'm talking about Jenna Marbles.
Oh, it worked.
It wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be.
She really needs no introduction, right? But for the 1 or 2 people who joined YouTube just a couple of years ago and maybe never heard of her, that's okay too. No judgments here. But Jenna was one of the early YouTubers that, she blew up as this authentic person with a dry, self-deprecating sense of humor.
She does kind of look like me. All right, Julian.
It looks horrifying.
Hey, girl, it's me. How you doing?
Oh my god.
She was one of the originals for sure. She grew an increasingly dedicated audience that, truly loved her, in that parasocial kind of way.
Shall I go outside and gleam in the sun for a while and make everyone fucking jealous as hell?
But as we've seen so many times in the influencer space,
Quite the scandal, actually.
her past came back with a very strong bite.
I'm being requested that I address things that I've done in my past.
Some content that she had created earlier in her career was highly problematic. And I'm not going to deny that. She was called on to address the videos in question, and one of the very first, if not the first, influencer apology video was created.
I'm not completely unproblematic, and I've tried my best to grow up and to be a better person. So I've privated a lot of my old content because I just don't want anyone to feel upset about anything. I don't want someone to watch something and feel hurt or offended now for any reason. All that matters is that people were offended and it hurt them. And for that, I am so unbelievably sorry that this isn't okay.
All right, before we keep going, I think it is time that we head to the Corgi Cam. I didn't in one of my recent videos, and I learned my lesson, don't worry. So, here's Minnie. Hi, Minnie. You look very cute today. She just got a brush and her nails done. Sorry, her floofs, her little paw floofs were cut by me. I say it like, somebody professional did it, but no, just me. All right, laser focused. Good catch. All right, let's keep going. Unlike pretty much every other YouTuber that has created one of these videos, Jenna actually left YouTube, and she stayed gone.
I think I'm just gonna move on from this channel for now. I don't know if that's forever. I don't know how long it's gonna be. I want to make sure that the things that I put into the world are not hurting anyone. And yeah, I'm just gonna stop.
And that was in 2020, so she hasn't been on social media since. And the thing is, Jenna hadn't actually been canceled. I mean, she'd been asked to address the content that she had created, yes, but it was actually her decision to cancel herself. Jenna was retroactively canceled, I guess you could say, by, people who maybe should have been taking notes instead. People that don't hold themselves accountable for their own actions and, they make fake apologies and then continue acting the same exact way, collecting their paychecks. But Jenna actually did the thing that none of them do. She held herself to a higher standard.
I want to hold myself accountable. I do want to tell you how unbelievably sorry I am. It's not okay. It's shameful. It's awful. I wish it wasn't part of my past.
So my question is there room for forgiveness? Even when, incredibly poor judgment and horrible and regrettable behavior has been caught forever on video.
It's awful. It doesn't need to exist. It's inexcusable. It's not okay. I'm incredibly sorry.
I think that is a question worth exploring. But here's the thing. All right, I never actually watched Jenna from start to finish. Of course I knew about her and how could I not, right?
And I was like, this is the internet that I signed up for.
And yes, I have absolutely seen some of her videos. I remember something about a toothbrush.
I'm a toothbrush. Do you like it?
It looks so good. Yeah, you do.
Wow, thank you, Beach. Who wants to brush their fucking teeth?
I think I was laughing at her sense of humor and her silly projects that, had kind of simple outcomes.
The ultimate 100 coats video.
And yes, I have seen her apology video, even though it's now deleted. But we all know that the internet never forgets, so. To be honest, I remember watching her apology video and thinking to myself, it felt like a real apology. That Jenna wasn't just being performative, which is what we're used to seeing. And instead, she just authentically felt bad for her past actions. But, and it's a big but, I never actually saw those videos. I didn't see the things that Jenna ultimately ended up canceling herself for. So, what can my opinion really be, I guess? I also know that I've grown a lot myself, personally, since I saw that video. And maybe I missed something. Maybe I didn't have the bigger picture in mind. And maybe I was too easy on her. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't think those videos are still available to watch. I do know that Jenna said that she privated them during her apology video, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume that she hasn't made them public again. So no, I don't know how bad her actions truly were. And I don't know what my opinion would be today if I saw them. I do believe that there are some people that have the ability to learn from their past behavior, grow from their experiences, and work to unlearn their problematic characteristics in order to be better humans. Thus far, on this channel, we've focused mainly on a person that definitely doesn't.
Rain and petals, these drop. Pa. Pa.
Amberlynn has zero self-awareness, and in my opinion, she is never going to change. So I sit here and I'm wondering, is Jenna Marbles, like the original girl, and she just couldn't take the criticism? Was leaving YouTube actually the best decision for everyone? And she set a solid precedent for what other YouTubers, like Amber and Chantal and so many others should also do. Or is Jenna one of the people who definitely did problematic things, but ultimately was able to maybe learn from her past and take real accountability for what she had done? And maybe she actually deserved more forgiveness than she was offered by her viewers and also probably by herself.
I'm spiraling into guilt.
I am not going into this to tear Jenna down, okay? Instead, I want to go into the series with an open mind. Clean slate. I'm going to let myself laugh when I think something's funny. And even if I'm laughing at something that's funny, we're also going to discuss any toxic behavior that we see, with the exact same critical eye that we always have. So yes, I am hoping that this can be a way to bring some laughter to our lives outside of Girl World. Because we need it.
Hey guys, welcome back to my sadly realistic portrait of what a 30-year-old lady's life is like.
I know I do, at least right now.
I just call myself a lady.
And that ultimately, this can hopefully be a positive example of human nature. But as I said, you can also be sure that at the same time, I will be looking at her content with the same goal as always, to learn about toxic behavior in someone else in order to be able to spot it in our own lives. And no, in case you were wondering, this doesn't mean that I'm going to be ending our case study of the Amberverse. Not at all. We're just expanding on the syllabus. All right. I'd love to kick off this series by hearing from you and what your stance on Jenna is. Are you open to changing your mind no matter what that current stance is? Either direction, good or bad. Or have you made up your mind and you're set in stone? Because I know that Jenna Marbles has been a polarizing topic for years now. So I guess it is a good thing that we here at Studio Deets are not afraid of a challenge, right? I hope that sounds good. So stay tuned. Class will be in session soon. But for now, we're going to start at the very beginning. The first video that is currently available on her channel, starring Mr. Marbles himself. It is a short one, so I'll sign off now and let Mr. Marbles play us out. I do want to thank my channel members. I'm so grateful for your support. I really am. All right, so if you want to keep watching, I will have a couple of videos on screen after the video, obviously. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Jenna,
What?
what are you gonna do?
Muffin?